Breaking news. An organization that represents more than 500 gymnasts in Canada is releasing just this hour an open letter to the Minister of Sport in this country, Pascal Saint-Onge. It outlines in shocking detail several cases of abuse brought to the minister's office 7 months ago, and it is repeating a call for the creation of an independent investigation, a judicial investigation into abuse in the sport of gymnastics. Hilary Johnstone has been going over this new open letter, as I say, just off embargo. Hilary, what are the gymnasts asking for?
Well, Heather, they are pushing for this independent judicial inquiry. And a lot of the allegations that are outlined in this letter are ones that we have heard before over the past couple of months. But what we're hearing from this group of some 500 gymnasts is that they believe that this inquiry is needed because they say these allegations of alleged abuse are not only historical in nature, but they say that they are still happening. And it is for that reason that they say that something needs to be done immediately. So some of these allegations are pretty shocking, Heather. Some of the details here. They allege rampant child abuse within Canadian gymnastics, saying that some children in the sport are being sexually groomed and sexually abused by their coaches. They say in some cases, some of these kids are being publicly humiliated, are being deprived of food, are being body shamed, for example, and a number of other allegations of both physical and verbal abuse directed towards children who are part of that sport within this country, part of gymnastics. So a number of really shocking and upsetting allegations. I do want to read you part of this letter as well, and some of what they're calling for. So they are calling for this judicial investigation, and they are addressing this to Pascal Saint-Onge, Canada's Federal Minister of Sport, saying, quote, "You have the power to initiate the judicial investigation gymnasts are seeking. Every day without that action from the Canadian government is another day children suffer the most despicable forms of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Every day without that action is another day that the brave survivors of this sport must find even more strength against a system that failed to protect them as children, now invalidates their experiences, and threatens to leave the next generation at risk of horrific abuse." So, Heather, like I say, some of these allegations go back for years, date back for years. This is something that we've heard from gymnasts, but then also, some of this we're hearing from this group of gymnasts. They say that this is still happening, allege that it's still happening, and it's for that reason that they have addressed this letter to Pascal Saint-Onge this morning.
Now, there have been some moves on the part of Gymnastics Canada, but not what they're looking for, this independent, I'm just looking at the exact wording, independent judicial investigation. Not the first time they've demanded this. Tell us further.
Not the first time that they have demanded this, and they say that some of their calls to the federal sport minister have gone unanswered. So, for example, we do know that back in July, Pascal Saint-Onge froze federal funding to Gymnastics Canada. This group of gymnasts is acknowledging that, but also saying that, Gymnastics Canada has now signed on to the Office of the Sports Integrity Commissioner. That was something that they had to do in order to have those federal funds unfrozen. But what these gymnasts say, Heather, is that new office that has been created lacks power, it lacks resources, and this group says that in their view it lacks independence as well, which is why they feel that Gymnastics Canada signing on to that office is simply not good enough, that they want there to be this independent judicial investigation to look into all of these allegations of abuse. And like we say, they first outlined this in a letter some 7 months ago back in March. We've heard from them again over the course of the summer, but they say in their view their calls have gone unanswered and that they want this inquiry to move forward.
Hilary, thank you very much.